This is episode 202 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel Mabid Manzano.
Turns out Initiative 3 in hyperspace is a hot bidding war, or it should be.
Will have discipline, get locks. Hakewood.
Surprisingly underrated.
And Ryan, Phoenix leader, more like rebellion leader, Staniszewski.
Absolutely, General Syndulla will lead the rebellion to a new era of dominance.
Oh, she's a-coming. She is a-coming. Well, thank you guys for listening, watching. I don't know, is there any other option besides listening and watching? Feeling? If you got like vibration headphones. Do you guys know that there's like these headphones that like bone conduction headphones? You know that exists? It's weird. I don't know. I came across it in a post. It was strange. Yeah, it was. I don't know. Anyway, since nobody's willing to comment on the bone conduction headphones, tasting, that's weird. Don't do that. Today's episode is brought to you by our Gold Squadron patrons, which, by the way, I got a little treat for you guys. So I'm going to be getting this posted probably tomorrow sometime. Where's my thing? So we have been asked quite a bit about like what can we get a preview of what is upcoming for the patrons what you got. So we are starting our Squadron series, okay? Our Squadron series right there. Now, what will happen for each of these cards, okay? What will happen for each of these cards is that it will be this entire background, this rebellion background with the ship, you know, fully set, like fully filling the frame. But you might be wondering, well, who are the pilots? The fun about this is we're actually going to be posting each week, every 3 to 4 days. There's going to be a vote, and I'm actually getting the post ready right now. There's going to be a post for each of the ships: the X-wing, the U-wing, the Y-wing, the B-wing, and the A-wing. And you guys will vote on what pilot those will be, since the actual Alphabet Squadron from the book series, they're not in X-wing yet. But the intent here is that this is only the first of 7 that we're going to be doing. Absolutely amazing art by Wade Pache. We commissioned him for this Squadron series. So looking forward to getting the art out there, getting it in your hands, and yeah, you'll be able to choose what it is. And there's a lot of opinions on what they should be. And I figured, you know what? I'm not going to make it my fault. It's you. You got to choose, patrons. It's on you. Now, the question that I am still trying to figure out, and I'm still running the numbers. Is figuring out how many of the cards we can actually get in each person's hand, depending on your level. That's gonna be kind of weird, and I'm working on figuring out the timing for that. But we're for sure going to be having those, and it should be great. All right. Should be awesome. Now, today we are going to be talking about the ACE Flight Club Championship event, and we're going to be looking at that top 16, and more importantly, talking about the impact of the brand new Squadron packs. Okay, like it is, they had an impact. Literally, both top 1 and 2 had upgrades and or pilots from the new stuff. We got to talk about it. Guys, where do we want to start? Do we want to just go? Go ahead.
PSA.
A PSA. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the X-wing team championships, 32 teams are already in. I think we're probably going to end up at like 36, 38. The sign up thing. So we almost had we're getting close. So you got until April 1st to fill it out if you're interested. If not, you didn't make it in. Yeah, so by April 1st we're gonna start selecting the final team members, and that'll be that. So what was the you had created something, Dion, like
What did I do?
to
What?
last week you created something to do so that it pops up on the Twitch.
Oh,
chat.
exclamation point XTC, I think. Somebody try it out in the chat.
I don't remember.
I'm
We did something.
pretty sure. XTC.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exclamation
so
point
2 more
XTC.
days. 2 more days to put your name in the hat. If you're not in 2 days, then you're not in.
There you go. There you go. Well, looking forward to seeing who makes that Team America in this first ever online version of the X-Wing Team Championships. So, guys, I figure what we do today is let's go ahead. Let's go through the top 16, and as we get to those new pilots, new upgrades, let's just talk about their general impact. We might hit on some of the top, the top 1 and 2 early. I think it's fine, and then I kind of want to circle back and talk about maybe some of the things that we didn't see that are hyperspace legal, and maybe what could end up being big in hyperspace. Now, we all know that Galaxies is coming up, and there's extended stuff that we need to talk about, that we need to address. We're gonna get there. We got a few weeks before we're there. We're gonna definitely be taking a look at the extended side of the meta going into Moncala, our first Galactic Championship qualifier, May 1st. But we're gonna leave that. Maybe we'll start that one next week. I know Marcel's ready to go. He's like, extended. Let's go, baby. He wants it. Not yet, Marcel. Hold it back. Hold it back. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start at 16. We're gonna start at 16, and Will, go ahead and read us this first one.
All right. This is from Pink Princess in the 16 spot here.
Yep. Shout out to
flying.
that's Paul Westwood, by the way, for anybody who wants to know.
Whoa. If that's what they choose. Anyways, they have chosen, though, for sure, the Galactic Republic faction, and they had brought 4 Jedi Knights, the Aether Sprites, with the 7B configuration, giving them the 3 attack and the 6 total health on 2 agility. With synchronized console, they're 50 points apiece, so you can fit 4 of them in a list with no bid. This is really good looking, I'll be honest with you. Being able to pass the same lock between all 4 ships until someone needs to use it, or giving a lock to a ship that happened to sloop or ended up bumping or something. I think it's a continuation of the powerful Jedi Knight chassis that has pretty much been good since they started the hyperspace season.
Now, the synchronized consoles, I found that we haven't seen much of that on the Jedi Knights.
No, I like the tech for it because it is cheap, and if they're you have a couple taking locks, it seems very useful. But then again, Marcel was really preaching the bid on I3, so I can see how that could have hurt them being at a full 200.
All right. Let's go ahead and hit the next one. Tommy Adams in 15th. Let me know, Ryan.
Tommy took a Rebel 4-ship list utilizing Luke Skywalker, Jake with proton rockets, and a couple of the new A-Wings, one being Ahsoka Tano with extreme maneuvers and concussion missiles, and Shara Bay also with proton rockets with a 4-point bid. So going for both of the I-4 A-Wings having that big rocket punch, Luke just providing his consistent firepower, and Ahsoka Tano utilizing extreme maneuvers, which I don't think we see or saw on most Ahsokas, but can definitely get some advantageous spots in a pinch. She ends up being, I think, a better endgame piece than Luke, just because their points cost-wise in his list, they're not that far apart. She's faster. She has better repositional capability. So Luke, Jake, Shara probably designed to just punch their way to allow Ahsoka to finish that game out. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy may have also utilized Ahsoka's ability often, where say if Luke wanted to do a K-turn or a Talon roll, she could then trigger her ability to allow them, or Luke's already done a Talon roll or a 4K. She does her maneuver, gives him an action, and then he still has force and a lock. So Ahsoka still has that trickiness too, not just because she has 3 force and can carry concussion missiles being fully modded with a target lock, doesn't mean she can't also help her friends out. I've seen that ability used more than I thought I would, but it's definitely been a clinch or a clutch opportunity in those spots.
Now, Tommy is actually in our live Twitch chat. This is my favorite part about being able to do these podcasts live. We can get some live feedback from the audience. And he said he only used Ahsoka's ability a couple of times, and she flanked more than anything. Yeah, I mean,
It's understandable, yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about extreme maneuvers on Ahsoka. Or actually, let me back it up. I just want to talk about extreme maneuvers. I think a big difference between someone like her and Kylo using it is the fact that she has 3 force, right? Like being able to have that 3rd force available really gives you some flexibility, especially if it sounds like Tommy didn't use her ability very much. That means you have a plethora of force available to use for that reposition.
Definitely. Surprised to hear Tommy said he only used Shara's ability 3 times the entire event. I feel like when Shara has access to Jake next to her, her ability should be almost active most games, at least like once a game at least, not just like 3 times the entire event, which is, to me, is surprising. Jake seems to be the easy engine to set up Shara. Maybe he just was facing a lot of other opponents, or Shara was in situations where she didn't have range for the lock because stuff was moving after her. But I still think Shara at 32 points is a very good value if you're already putting Jake in a list. If you already have people like Ahsoka and Luke who have naturally double mods because they have the Force.
Cool. And he does say here in the chat, extreme maneuvers was used a lot. He said, I flew them AC. All right, I see you. All righty. Let's keep it going here. Gary Colton. Let me know, Marcel. What did Gary bring to the table?
He brought an oldie, but a goodie. Separatist 195-point double fire spray list. Jango Fett with Treacherous. Seasoned Navigator, that's a twist. Seasoned Navigator, for those, because it's not a common card these days. It's when you reveal a maneuver, you may change it to another maneuver of the same speed, and then you decrease the difficulty or increase the difficulty of it. So if you're going bank left or straight, you can turn that straight to a bank without getting any stress, or you can turn it into a red hard in any direction. So repositioning at initiative 6 is good. I think everybody, all of us can agree on that.
Mm-hmm. Now,
or pre-positioning.
Now, to clarify something really quickly here with Seasoned Navigator, is you cannot set, like, you have to actually have the move on your dial in order to change it, right? It's just because somebody might misinterpret a little bit how you explained it. Say like, I can just do whatever I want. No. It does say specifically on the dial, after you reveal your dial, you may set your dial. And then with the same
speed that you originally set your dial to, so you can't go from a 1 to a 2. If you set a 1, then you can only change it to a speed 1 maneuver.
I think it's also worth noting that on Jango, in Jango's wording, even if you change which maneuver it is, like which speed maneuver it is, it increases its difficulty, but Jango specifically asks for the revealed maneuver on the dial. So you could go from a 1 bank left to a 1 bank right. It'll still be considered blue for Jango's ability, but it will increase the speed of the difficulty, which won't allow you to, say, remove a stress or a strain or deplete if you had one of those.
Yeah. Yep. And I actually wonder, like, that's now it makes me think. Just real quick, like that would probably be a really good ability on something like Ketsu that can go from a speed 3 and then change it to any direction, and they're all white. Oh, bad stuff. You're covering something about. Let's talk about Dooku. Quick tips. I can't see the rest of the list. Thank you very much. He also had false transponder codes. The card that Dion doesn't want us to name, but we have to because there's listeners. Hull upgrade.
I'm over. I'm over it. I was
Samuels.
perfect this weekend. It was perfect this
Are you
weekend
over
with
it now?
hull upgrades.
Okay. Then you got Zamwells with Treacherous, the mandatory Dooku, thermal detonators, and a hull upgrade. What did they drop from this to
To get 195,
Yeah, to get 195 and to get the Seasoned Navigator on.
Yeah, because seasoned is expensive, actually.
there. So
Well,
some
it's
people
normally Palpatine, isn't it?
Well, that's extended, so that wouldn't be.
in
Oh,
hyperspace,
because
people
they've been running
Title.
Boba Crew, right?
yeah, Boba crew and or title.
And also the Slave one, yeah.
Boba,
And there's
Boba
a-
Gunner.
And there's
Yeah, it's Boba Gunner. They'd have to take the Slave 1 title. I don't even know. Has that even been a thing? I've mainly paid attention to the Zam loadout.
and there's no false transponder codes on Zam either.
That's one, yeah.
So I think those 3 cards, yeah. All right. Anyway, so really good. And Seasoned Navigator on Django is a really good call.
I like it. Next one here, we got Florent Menu bringing a scum list. In our next position here, brings Dengar with Predator, Greedo, Contraband Cybernetics, Punishing One, and R5TK. Then you got Sarasu in the M3 Interceptor with Cutthroat and Proton Rockets. Lando Calrissian in the customized Whiting 1300 with Zam, False Transponder Codes, and Lando's Millennium Falcon. Also brought Sonny Bounder with no upgrades and the Autopilot Drone Escape Craft as well. We did get to see Florent play for like a half a game. He was a game 2 on stream. A couple of things I wanted to point out is R5TK is now an even more interesting card in the Scum faction because of Cutthroat, right? You could trigger Cutthroat by killing your own friendly ships if you really needed to. You also have the autopilot drone, which can trigger Cutthroat as well because it's on destroyed, right? That's a trigger. So the autopilot is destroyed when it blows up. But one interesting thing, and Marcel, this is a question for you, because I know you're a big fan of the autopilot drone. Florent flew it very different than I've seen you fly it. And I'd like to get your opinion on it. I know that we don't have like a play-by-play, but he didn't do the whole like get it down to ready to blow up and then use it as a proton bomb only. He actually had it in the chamber, released it, coordinated, picked it back up, and like that happened actually a couple of times. Whether I think it may actually have lost him his top 16 game, but it was really interesting to see it played that way.
Well, you can't do it the way that I used to do it anymore. With the last rules change update, you can no longer toss him and take the charge away the same turn that you toss it. That's not a thing anymore. You can still take the charge away when you dock. You can still take a charge and dock them, but you can't undock and lose a charge when you undock. That was in the latest rules errata, or the latest tournament rules. So that I don't know. I don't even know if he played it correctly. If it's a surprise to you, like now when it's undocked, you cannot lose the charge that turn. So you would always have to undock and then blow up the turn after it's undocked from now.
Oh, okay.
So that might have contributed to it.
Maybe.
If he did use it that way. But yeah, but I think it's as a coordinating ship, as a think about it like Ahsoka. She can only coordinate every couple turns. It kind of works that way now.
Yeah.
If you're using it that way. So, I mean, it makes sense. The only problem is that you have to bump into him in order to trigger the redocking. So that means that probably Lando was not taking actions those turns that he was bumping into.
No, yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't. Now the other,
I mean, it's interesting.
the other thing I want to point out here is, remember Cutthroat, and we'll go ahead and pull up the card here, so that we can. So that we can see it here. But the fact that you can actually use Cutthroat to reload a procket, and I'll tell you, this weekend, it was all about the procket. There was prockets everywhere. Cutthroat reads, after another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, if that ship is limited or has the Cutthroat upgrade, you may remove one orange or red token, or, and this is what most people are using it for, or recover one non-recurring charge on your ship card or on one of your equipped upgrade cards. So in this case, he was using Sarasu's Cutthroat, and being able to reload that procket was fantastic, especially on a platform that is inherently defensive, being able to reroll those defense dice. So super cool list. I mean, this is when you see 4 different platforms out there, or 3 to 4 different platforms, it makes you say scumjank. One other thing to point out is you could also use R5TK to charge up Zam Wessel's charges on Lando. Now, he doesn't have a way to guarantee the mitigation of the damage from there. We've seen some combos with Tirani Kolda. And it's like Tirani plus the munitions failsafe and a missile. There's a couple of different things in there. But yeah, you can use that. So that's another use there. Again, R5TK actually getting some uses. Pretty interesting. All right. Who's up next? I think it is Ryan for Kenneth Lyon.
All right, Kenneth running a Galactic Republic list with 3 Delta 7 Aether Sprites with 7B, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Eta-2 with Predator. Simple, effective. I mean, honestly, if the baseline theoretically you could look at is 4 Delta 7Bs, Obi-Wan ETA is the same price as one of those. It feels like a no-brainer to have at least that. And then you obviously have 4 points left over. Instead of going to Sync Council, you opt in for Predator on Obi-Wan, and you have yourself a 2-point bid.
It seems really solid. I like the opting in there, and you get the 2 extra initiative, which is absolutely massive as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I believe Kenneth is actually in the chat. He goes, "Oh, hey, it's me." So yeah, it is. It's pretty awesome to see Obi-Wan in the Eta-2. I think this was one of the better performances that we've seen out of the Eta-2, especially in the Ace Championship.
I believe that's correct in the Ace. I do know, spoiler, our eventual winner got his spot in the Ace tournament by playing triple Eta-2s.
This is true.
But that's another story. Turns out he knows how to do pre-reposition maneuvers.
That's right. All right. Will, take on Derek Snyder.
All right. Derek Snyder flying Galactic Empire 198. This is Disciplined Barons. That's 2 Disciplined Barons with Tracers and 4 Disciplined Barons with Proton Rockets. We got it redisciplined because it's very new, very exciting in my opinion for Empire. It says it's a new faction, specific ones. That's why it's Empire only. After another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, if that ship is limited or has the disciplined upgrade, you may perform a target lock or barrel roll action. So, this presents a terrible dilemma of that if you kill a tracer missile baron, well, all of the other 5 still get locks. So you should shoot at someone else. It's very interesting to me. Now, there is one problem with it, though. for using it on the Baron chassis. I do, as a note, that you have to perform a target lock or barrel roll action. So if you've already linked this round or K-turned, have a stress, you cannot use that extra action then. So I will we'll see that there's other chassis that are more designed or more, what do I want to say, able to take advantage of disciplined, but still very, very scary list. We've already seen the Tracers and Barons with 2 Tracers, 4 Prockets do exceptionally well, no matter if you got Marksmanship or Ruthless or nothing, just a big bid on I3.
Now, let's take a second to talk about this. We got through 3 new faction upgrades. We got Disciplined, we got Hopeful, we got Cutthroat. I want you to rate them, Will. Which one do you think is the best?
Cutthroat.
Follow your heart.
It's Cutthroat.
It's Cutthroat? You think so?
Yeah, because you can get what do I want to say? It can work while you're stressed. In fact, it can take away your stress token, which is pretty good.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Ryan?
I think it might be a tie between Discipline and Cutthroat. If I had to choose one, I think I'd do Discipline, but that's just because I'm not opting into the scum jankiness and putting the crazy stuff all together. But if you recall that that Old T Fen Lots Razi list I played once on Flight Club on Wednesday night. Lots had Zam and FTC. I can get Cutthroat now. I can get the FTC back and get Zam's charge back faster. So all these upgrades are very easy to slot in a list. There are just ships in each faction that can take more advantage of them, obviously. Like Will said, the Barons, while they still can, their natural, maybe not desire to always link, but because they can link and how they move, it ends up in situations where you won't be able to utilize Discipline. It doesn't mean that it's bad upgrade on them. It just means you can't expect it to always trigger all the time for all of your ships that have it, because you're going to take advantage of linked actions at times for positioning purposes. You don't want to give up better positioning just to do Discipline, but you also don't want to give up. It's a two-way street. You just got to choose in the correct game state. No, Nabi, Hopeful is not hopeless. There's just less ships that can take advantage of it.
And what do you think, Marcel?
So the couple things. One of them is I don't know what's going on with the camera, because whenever I go USB, upload speed goes down to like 200 kilobytes per second. When I go to the regular laptop one, it's like at 4,000. So the speed's going. There's just something bad
weird.
with the camera, so bad camera, naughty camera. So definitely Discipline. I think that is not a 1-point upgrade. I think that's definitely needs to be 2 at a minimum. I think 2 is fine, because it only becomes useful when you spam it early. Even when you use it once here, one's there, it's good, but it serves best with a can of spam. The Cutthroat, I think, is next, and that one is good by itself. You don't need to spam that one. I think I just played against a guy named Tim with 5 of them. I was telling you guys, Y-Wings with that and thermal detonator. So it's basically an endless supply of bombs. That was terrible. It was fun, but it was terrible. I'm like, I killed one of your Y-Wings. Oh, God, now you got more bombs. So those are good. And also, of course, Telchaver or Dengar can use it for different things in a very good way. I do tend to, at the moment, lean towards Hopeful is hopeless.
It was like Nabi.
Whoever said it in the chat, mostly because there's nobody that can really take advantage of it.
Okay, go ahead.
Really, what'll make somebody take advantage of it is because it lets you boost or focus, and most ships want to focus anyway. Like that's the action that everybody wants to take, especially the lower initiative ones, which take advantage of ships dying. Because unlike a target lock, you can't carry it to the next turn. You have to use it that turn. So you need to be a lower initiative ship that something dies getting alpha strike, and then it takes advantage of it. I think you need something like a ship that can carry passive sensors or do some way to get that second lock, but there isn't. Like I flew the X1s, or some things like that, or the what are they, the gunboats. Like the gunboats can take passive sensors, so ships like that can take a passive sensor and kind of forego that focus, and then get that focus. Go for it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you can finish your point. I know the exact ship. I've been using it.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about it because
it's
it's
called
not
a
that many.
VTX. It has passive sensors, and I can snap hopeful on it. That's a big base boosting. You got to be concerned.
Yeah, but you got the problem with that is that the VCX will take like 70-something, 80-something points out of your list, and then you have a very limited supply of ships to do it. And
Yeah, so I think that's what I mentioned earlier with hopeful. It's not something you're going to spam. You're going to be selective with it. There's going to be some ships that are going to take use out of it. There's some that are not. Like, I don't even mind giving Garvin hopeful just for the opportunity to do the boost. This is one point. Like, obviously, when you compare it to Cutthroat and Discipline, hopeful is the worst out of the three. But I don't think that means it doesn't have use. I think all of them for 1 point are of value. It's just you get more out of Discipline and Cutthroat in a spammable, or there's more easier triggers to reach and to take advantage of.
So what I'm going to do here real quick is what are the Rebellion ships that have sensor slots right now? We have
So you got the E-Wings, but the E-Wings don't want the target lock because they get it from turn one.
B-Wings can take advantage of it. Actually, B-Wings can take solid advantage of it because they can passive sensors.
Yeah,
And they have the focus link barrel roll or boost.
So
But they're normally stressed, though.
But what about?
No, but I'm saying just move passive and stay there.
Yeah.
And then if somebody dies, then they can focus and then link it to a barrel roll to get that shot, or they can boost into a shot. So it's kind of a way of guaranteeing.
Well, so I guess the question becomes, let me double check passive sensors. Does it say acquire lock, or you may perform a lock action? Because that matters.
It's action.
Okay.
Because you can't double action.
Yeah, I mean, you could double action if that means you get a shot. You just lose the passive sensors trigger, I guess, in that manner.
No, what I mean is you can't double action. Like you can't take a focus and then get an extra focus later. That's what I meant.
No, I think he's talking about if you get a focus and barrel roll, you're stressed, so passive does nothing now. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh,
Yep,
I get it.
That's correct. Yep. Because so let's say, if you passive sensors with the B-Wing. Now again, this we only worry about this if the B-Wing does a focus with hopeful and links to barrel roll, which stresses them, but you're probably barrel rolling to get a shot. So you wasted your passive sensors, but now you have a shot you didn't have before. Probably.
Yeah, you can focus or boost, so you can passive sensor, so you're gonna have that target lock. And then if something dies, you can either double mod it with a focus, or you can barrel roll or boost to get a shot that you wouldn't have had before, and you're still gonna have the mod because of the passive, because of the target lock from the passives. Yeah, I guess that one. I don't see a lot of I3 B-Wings, but
are we just not putting bigs in every hopeful list? Is that really the difference here? Do we really need to be dropping like bigs and self lists to just make sure that ship dies so we can trigger hopeful when we want?
I mean, that's probably the way.
That's probably how we should be playing it.
so a bunch of B-Wings with passives and bigs protecting it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little old school, but if it
a lot
works,
old school.
Biggs walks the hopeful V's.
yeah.
I still let's see. Then there could just be ships that are fine not focusing for their main action, right? So, What
Oh
if,
man, you know what? Hawks
Wait,
could focus rotate.
Yeah, the
Wow,
Kashyyyks
that's
would have been
dirty.
good, but the Kashyyyks can't have the EPT anymore because they got rid of the generic that has the EPT.
I was thinking Hawks will, because if you multi-crow up some focuses, a lot of Hawks like to lock anyway to get double mod.
Yeah.
Something dies and it has hopeful, you can boost or focus back and help refill your multi-crow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, probably not Jan because she's probably stressing herself, but like Rourke and Kyle, for sure. Oh, Rourke, Rourke's, Rourke, you could have your turret on your friendly for the start of engagement and then focus rotate to somebody you want to actually kill or that you want to shoot at initiative 4. That's pretty interesting, I guess. I mean,
Lebo has a double calculate.
This is true. Yeah, you always have that focus action open because you're not normally doing it.
yeah, I was
that's not
actually
a lot
thinking
of
about it on AP5. If like they
just
don't
ships
kill
without
him right away, but
Actually, that
he's
is a good one pointer on AP5.
yeah, right. If he's not the
yeah.
prime target, at least he can mod his dice that round.
Initiative 1 so he's calculating or he's coordinating.
You know, he's always coordinating.
Yeah, he's coordinating and
What are you taking AP5 to calculate for?
What about
That's nothing.
what about if tactical officer ever comes down in price? Tactical officer U-wings, maybe. I mean, I know
yeah.
it doesn't look good right now because tactical officer is so expensive.
I guess there's
for
some
the
goofy.
coordinate?
yeah.
I guess there's some goofy synergy. Oh no, two tubes.
K2SO.
No.
K2SO is another one that has only calculate. But again, they're very limited.
Wait, what was that about tubes, Will?
2 tubes has illicit, not talent. Boo. That'd be really
yeah.
fun to take a focus token, a perceptive focus token at that, and then sling it off mid combat. It'd be too good. Too good.
All right.
Yeah, I think K2SO, Lebo, the B wings, that basically things that don't have or AP5 droids or things that don't
Is there
focus.
anything that has a linked boost action other than the E-wing? Like boost into something?
boost into target lock.
Yeah, it's just E-wing, right?
Yeah. It's just them. Right
I
now.
guess like X-wing. I guess an X-wing with its foils closed could focus linked into boost.
Yeah, but what are you doing with those wings closed during the engagement
Shooting
phase?
torps because
Yeah.
I took a target lock as my action.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Because those initiative 3 X-wings are really good at getting.
No, you know it's going to be Porkins and Garvin and all those the good ones.
All right. Let's keep it rolling. Derek Snyder sparking some debate here. This one, Sasha Wagner, very similar list. We got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4,
it's the
5.
exact same list.
It's exact copy pasta. 6 Barons of the Empire with discipline. 2 of them with the thread tracers, and the other 4 with prockets. We'll go ahead and pass next one. This really awesome list. I forgot. Is it Will? Are you up for Alex Middle?
No, it's you, Marcel.
Marcel.
Me and Ryan just went.
Marcel, look at this list. Marcel, look at this list.
that is
It's so
fun.
cool.
Okay, so we've got Alex Middle with the Scum 199 point list. Fen Rao coming in.
You have to speak up, Marcel. Oh, sorry. Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you. Now.
All right. Yeah, so we've got Fen Rao in the birthday suit. Then we have Bosk on the YV666 with Gamut Key, Zam Wells, and Greedo. So basically, he's every other turn keeping one of those tokens, and then Zam giving it more tools to play with. And then Cannon but I don't know what Gleb does. So Cannon Jarrus is the new Hawk.
Kanan?
Has the same ability as the Rebel Cannon. No, it doesn't. Cannon Jarrus. Does it? Is it the same one as
Yes,
Rebel
it's the
Cannon?
same.
it is.
It's the same, but it works on himself as well.
So basically, if you are in the rotating arc, range 0 to 2, you the ship getting attacked has to be right. It's the ship getting attacked, not the attacking ship.
Right here. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah.
So there we go. Kanan, while you or a ship in your turret arc defends, you may spend 1 force. If you do, the attacker rolls 1 fewer attack die.
Got it. Okay, so basically keeping Bosk or Fenrir, but mainly Bosk alive longer. And then on top of that, Gleb, which again, that's another card that I don't know, but you got it up. After you coordinate a friendly ship, it gives you the red coordinate. And after you coordinate a friendly ship, you may transfer 1 orange or red token to the ship you coordinate to. So I am assuming he was coordinating Bosk, then tossing Bosk the stress.
He did it a couple different ways because it's a May. You don't have to do it, right? So there was a couple times where he yeeted the stress to Fen round. Like, Fen's about to do a blue, isn't double stressed or isn't stressed right now, and Fen just takes care of it. And you could do that every turn. Can we talk about the fact that Gleb is 2 points? It's 2 points.
So good.
And it doesn't change, right? So you can have it at any initiative.
Yeah.
Points to give
2
any
points.
crew ship a red coordinate, which, by the way, even though Gleb is available in Empire and First Order, every ship that she would go on already has coordinate action anyway. So this really benefits just Scum the most.
So
It's
Empire
crazy,
and
though.
First Order as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this can be used in basically all the baddies except Separatist.
Yeah, but it's only really useful on like Reapers if you're trying to coordinate and ailerons, which
Yep.
you're normally coordinating so you don't have to ailerons.
Yeah, you're trying to slow down anyway.
So not the best.
Yeah, so I mean, it hits really hard. It sounds, and he also had Moldicron on there to make sure that that
He had that 3 dice gun in the front.
yeah, the 3 dice got a
Always
cannon.
getting
So
Dice gun because his ability is only the turret arc.
yeah, to have the 3 dice and also carry the focus around for defense, so he can come in and double mod those early shots. So cannon is with a target lock focus most likely for the first attack. Bosk is hitting hard, and Bosk is hitting hard anyway, and Fenrir is probably hitting super hard because again, if you're coordinating it a focus or a lock early on, then it'll just clear it with a blue, come in, double modded 5 dice. Eesh, I like it.
Man, I can't say enough about Key on Bosk, especially in this build because you can coordinate focus. You can coordinate the focus. Bosk reinforces. You key both of those circular tokens into the first round of combat, and you could reinforce again before getting your Zam lock. Oh man, good luck. Good luck doing anything to that ship.
So for anybody who doesn't know what key does, the crew says at the start of the end phase, you may spend 2, by the way, it has 2 recurring charges, to choose a ship at range 0 to 1 with 1 or more circular tokens. During the end phase, circular tokens are not removed from that ship. That's good.
I mean, but besides also using Kanan ability is out there as well. So even if Bosk is getting shot at range 1, he's got double reinforce. Kanan's probably going to neuter the shot by 1 dice. So you're still shooting 3 dice at a double reinforced Bosk. And if you decide to shoot at Fenrir's probably range 1 with Protector at his ability. And then Kanan, if lined up correctly, is just going to neuter that shot. Like, I mean, realistically, Kanan probably neuters the shot that might be a range 2 in defend and not a range 1. The one that's actually going to do more damage to him potentially, not the one he's probably going to evade anyway.
Yeah, so on Wednesday, the Wednesday before this Saturday, I think we correctly identified. We're like, we don't want to play with Fen because I think a lot of people are going to reach for Fen with Kanan. But we said, Kanan with Fangs, good. Very good. We know that that's going to be good, and that's going to be a combo that people try out for a while. People say, "Oh, wait, you can stack reinforce to gain both bonuses." Yeah, each token triggers separately.
Yeah,
Yes.
just
You can also reinforce the front and the back if you're concerned about a flank.
That's true. Well, not technical flank, but
That is crazy. You got a 360 reinforced.
I am the Mornikey now.
All right, who's up next for Cody Wood? Is it me? It's me.
Take it, Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's you, Dion.
All right. Well, Cody Wood, probably the competitor with the best name. No offense. Like it's all right, Ryan. I know you're a connoisseur of the wrestling arts. All right. I spent my time looking at wrestling. Cody's name sounds like a wrestler's name. Like I hear his name, and it's like, you know, Cody Wood heading down to the ring. Oh, there's a chair. That's just what I think,
Here comes
man.
Cody with a steel chair. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I know. Probably people listening right now going like, wait, what? Don't ask. It's just the truth. All right. Anyway, Cody Wood bringing a first order list here. Triple silencers. We've seen him fly some iteration of this quite a bit through different events, both extended and in hyperspace. He's got Kylo Ren with extreme maneuvers and ion torpedoes, recoil with Predator, and rush naked. That gives you 200 points. You got 3 double repositioning, 3 attack dice ships, and he likes to go fast.
Says his favorite thing to have is a ship that has a 1 hard, a 5 straight, and the option to boost, at least, if not both barrel roll and boost.
Yeah, it is really great, and you can see Cody is a fantastic player. If you're trying to get better at silencers, highly recommend watching his games. He's played quite a bit here on Gold Squadron, so just watch the play. He does a great job of balancing being unexpectedly aggressive, where it him in an advantageous position. Where you're like, all right, these silencers are on me, and then also using, like you said, that 1 hard and reposition to be able to block and get in people's ways. He even said it. He doesn't care about the bid. He's like, I'll go 200 so I can move first. Dude prefers to move first. Less pressure.
Yeah, I think he said he either faced another triple silencer or another like AC style list that had a bid on him, and he's like, I beat that list in for some reason record time somehow. But no, Cody has. I'd be hard pressed to find anyone better at triple silencers than Cody right now. Mm-hmm. He has mastered that list. He has had very many iterations of it. He's gone against many different things. That is his bit right now for sure.
Really quick note, and Will, I saw that you pulled it up. There has been an errata to Protectorate Gleb that says that you have to coordinate a friendly ship, right, to avoid any stress shenanigans, right, Will?
It's not exactly the stress shenanigans, but Ryan correctly identified that as a problem at first, because Hondo allows you to coordinate enemy ships. And if you happen to have, say, a weapons disabled or a what would be another circular token?
Ion token.
No, ions aren't circular.
It's
but it's an orange token.
Red or orange.
Red or orange side. I got key on my mind. But yeah, passing your coordinating the enemy an ion token, then giving them an ion token or a disabled token would be super feels bad. What was it? Duridium power cells.
Yep, Duridium power cells for first order.
Mm-hmm. You heal your shield. You had some crazy combo where you take a damage with static discharge vanes.
No, it's so you could. This is extended only, luckily, because feedback array is only extended. But on Agent Terex, Xi Shuttle pilot, you could take Hondo and Gleb as crew, take deuterium power cells and feedback array. Sounds like a lot of points, right? But you could feedback array the first turn of the game, be damaged, and you could hold on to that ion because you're medium base. Then you go out and say anything that wants to come anywhere near close to range 3 of me, like because Hondo reaches out to range 3 with the coordinate. I'm going to coordinate as long as I get 2 enemy ships. I will coordinate one and jam the other, but the one I coordinate is either going to get a disarm because I could reload my shield with the power cells, or I could give it an ion token with a feedback array. I mean, how would you like to be permanently ioned if you're a small base ship forever? Because however much health I have is however much feedback arrays I'm willing to use to keep you going one straight till the end of time. A lot of people worry about the disarm. I disagree if you keep one straighting forever.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the
turns out-
errata is the ability can only happen if it's a friendly coordinate.
Yep. After you coordinate a friendly ship, you may transfer the token. So that combo, at least in this instance, has been neutered. Not there anymore. Let's keep it rolling here. We got our first instance of the rebellion and vectored cannons. What do we got here, Ryan?
Hey, someone showed up with them. James Ritter bringing a 196, so got a 4-point bid. We got Hera with tracers and the vectored cannons, Wedge with vectored cannons, Jake vectored cannons, Shara vectored cannons, and a hopeful Garvin with his S-foils. I think vector cannons are still a viable option. I think both the regular RZ1 and vector cannon RZ1s are viable options right now. A lot of people have steered away from vectored cannons once you put Ahsoka and or Hera in a list, but I can definitely still see Hera contributing well because she kind of wants to give herself in spots to where she's not being shot anyway, so she can help her friends with saving a token with perfect information knowledge when you roll dice whenever you need the token, basically, whether it's evade or focus or target lock. And boosting up her friends with thread tracers as well from the back line is also an advantageous spot, making it seem like they could kind of have a similar effect of being as consistent as advanced optics once those locks are on. Jake being able to engineer Char, like I talked about in the past. When you have Garvin in a list with Hera, that's like an infinite focus loop. Like Garvin doesn't even need the focus to start. Hera can just be holding the focus and not even in the shot. And whenever Garvin needs it, Hera's like, all right, here's the focus. Garvin's like, all right, I spent my focus. I'm going to give it back to you, Hera. It just goes back and forth. And that focus never goes away. So, and even Jake, who probably in most cases passes a focus off to Shara so Shara can get a lock and do her shtick, which, by the way, I think Shara with vector cannons is another opportunity for her. It's another arc that she can shoot out of to get her ability on and more dangerous. Jake could pass his focus instead to Hera, and then Hera could take an evade and just holding all the tokens for anyone to spend at any one point in time whenever they need to. I'm going on record right now. Hera is the most valuable ship in the Rebel Alliance.
I will not argue with you.
I don't think anybody will.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of disagreement there.
No way. Here we go. You're
We're
wrong.
fighting.
Wrong! No, man. Okay, for the it's the flexibility. We preach flexibility all the time. That's like our number one word because that's what wins you games when you can have flexibility in different situations. And Hera, she is ultimate flexibility. What do you need? I got you. Hera's ability says, I got you. That's it. That's all you need.
Add initiative 6 on top
Add
of it.
initiative, yep.
Is there a 42? Is there a 42 points to spend? Is there any faction that you would not get rid of whatever 40 points you have to fit Hera in there?
Oh, I mean, like automatically I take Hera in every single Empire list because Hera would be the pocket ace at any ace list I have, right? Because she's holding focus or evades for my aces.
There is not a faction that I don't take Hera in if she's available.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Jeez, I mean, you could pass all the tokens to her and she can hold them for everyone. As long as the friendly ship's in range 1 to 2, that's all that matters. Like, the best first engagement is for Hera not to be in it, but to be in the range 1 to 2 bubble of all her friends that are in it. She's safe, she's holding the tokens, and all her friends know exactly when they need to use it. Like,
Yeah, and I really like a ship if you can get Jyn Erso in there, because then it makes her much more. Jyn Erso is a 2-point list. Of course, you have to have a carrier for it. But
So let's talk
then it
about
takes her-
what is Jyn Erso, just for somebody, because I know not a lot of people might be familiar with that because we haven't talked
Yeah,
about it in
so
a while.
Jyn Erso is a rebel crew that says if a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 would gain a focus token, it may gain 1 evade token instead. So you can take your focus token Hera, because if you look at like Matt Carey's games and some of the other games, Hera ended up taking a lot of evades because want to provide that evade for friendlies. But if you have a Jin Urso in there, you're essentially taking focus every single time. And then when it's not only can you choose any attack, you're probably going to do the focus, but on defense, if you roll 2 focuses on defense, okay, throw that focus over. But if you roll blanks, or if you roll focus blank and the ship has a focus, then you can pass the focus and then magically convert it to an evade on its way to the ship, and then you get that focus evade. So it adds much more flexibility to an already highly ship with a lot of flexibility. Now you can, in the moment, decide, I want to focus. Nope, I want to evade, and just decide that at any given time. And also makes Ahsoka invincible, because now Ahsoka has 3 force, takes her own evade. You can throw her another evade or focus, whatever you want. And now I am invincible.
Yeah, if Ahsoka's in that situation, Hera can choose to help her out a lot, but Ahsoka still feels really safe to just lock boost, right? She can still
no matter where she goes. Yeah,
she can still be super offensive, and Hera can still be like, I still got an evade waiting for you.
Turns out she doesn't like bombs, though.
Thanks, girl.
Bombs
are bad.
are still auto damage. There's no tokens that are affecting those.
Now the other part is just we hit on the flexibility there, but let's just get a quick picture of everything that Hera enables. Right, passing focuses, passing evades, passing like you think about their normal modification, but you can also pass a focus to enable a weapon. Proton rockets are one of the most popular and powerful one-off weapons that we have, and the fact that Hera can yeet a focus and be like, all right, your proton rocket is live now, because per the rules now, specifically about Hera, it is when attacking, and that includes necessary equipment or necessary tokens to fire a weapon. Like that is nuts. Like you said, and that's the other thing. She can carry one herself, so she's not just a support ship. A lot of times when you have a support ship out there, it can do a bad job of protecting itself. Hera will bite you back. You watch out.
Yeah, depending on how you equip her. I mean, I prefer the cheap route with just Predator if I could put something on her. But I mean, I think we'll see later. Proton rockets can still exist on an I-6 pilot with focus boost. It still hurts a lot.
Oh man, let's keep it going there. We got another Rebel list here coming in from Nobby. Take it, Will.
All right, this is more new A-Wings. We have Derek Cleveland. That's Hobby, if you don't know. His ability is when he acquires or spends a lock, he can shred a stress. So as that Sheriff Bay, which we've been talking about. Wedge, which I don't think was in James's list, was it?
Wedge was in James's list. Derek was not in James's list.
Derek was. Okay. So Wedge. So all these guys don't have the standardized configuration. We also have then Ahsoka with, this is an interesting combo, Patience, Instinctive Aim, and Proton Rockets. So Instinctive Aim lets you spend a force instead of whatever the requirement would be to shoot the missile. So in this case, you don't have to have a focus. You just can shoot it with just the force. And then Hera brings the Tracer missiles, which is, man, just the upgrade for that ship, in my opinion. Why not give everybody locks and give them your focus? Really helping out the whole team here. There you go. Do you want to see how it pulled up for the visuals? I was going to say visual viewers, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, so taking the same kind of A-Wing spam, but now getting it to include these, as Tommy put it, kind of aces in your A-Wings, with Ahsoka being able to put out some heavy damage, Hera being able to get her target lock and focus to be able to shoot the proton rocket. Then of course Shara. I mean, the thing that's blowing my mind. I keep looking through these Derek, Shara, Wedge, Ahsoka, Hera. No Jake in this list. Navi, what the Jake? I would assume a standard inclusion to this, but not needed if you have these kind of support pieces like Ahsoka's ability, like Hera's token transferring. Apparently, you don't need Jake at all.
And Nobby's in the chat. He said that exact thing. He goes, I don't need him. It's like I got all the tokens I need. What do I need more?
That's crazy to me. But hey, if it works, man, it works.
Well, his list, right, compared to others that relied on proton rockets, right? Ahsoka's the only one who relies on a proton rocket, and she can use instinctive aim. The rest of them are just being A-wings. They're just plinking away, pew, 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 till you get the dub, right? I mean, Nabi, is that the idea? I know that's simplified, but that's basically seems that's what I'm seeing here.
So Nabi talked about how he would have Ahsoka give Hera an evade with Ahsoka's ability, take a focus action, then Ahsoka would fire tracers and let everyone get locks, including Hera herself, so that Shara can hit with her ability, and then I would assume Ahsoka potentially as well. So the trick with Patience, Instinctive Aim, and Proton Rockets is that Ahsoka could lock boost to get the Proton Rocket and just spend one force to be able to use it with Instinctive Aim, still retaining a lock and 2 force for the full Proton Rocket attack. Yeah, that's the little trick there. Likely until she has that spike damage shot, Ahsoka might just be using her ability more often in conjunction with Patience to get that force back more and ready for the big shot.
And for anybody who doesn't know what Patience does, Patience is that light side only force upgrade that says at the start of engagement, if there are any enemy ships in your front arc, you can gain a deplete token to recover 1 force. So being able to regenerate that force and keep the cake up, like I like to say, be ready when it's time. I like it. All right, let's keep it partying here. Marcel, take a look at Andrew Ohler's Galactic Republic list.
All right, you got Andrew with I haven't seen Warthog in a while. A lat with tracers. Then you have 2 Jedi Knights Delta 7Bs and a Squadron Veteran Arc coming in with that's just the arc, the Initiative 3 arc, I believe, right? So they're all I3 at 198 points, which is extremely good, especially it allows Warthog to basically just be a complete support, because now she's covering the front with the focus. As long as she's got a focus, she can provide the rerolls via the tracers, or if they're if they're getting flanked, then she can also use her ability to give them the rerolls from the sides as well. So it makes her a much better support ship. With just an extra 2 points with the tracers, and all 3 of those ships hit hard. And it turns out that when a ship stays alive even after you alpha strike it and then it hits you back in the face, it is good. There's a benefit to not getting taken off the table before you're allowed to shoot. So very, very good stuff.
All right, and the next list here, Dan Schwireb bringing 4 HMP gunships, not all the same. 2 of them are Geonosian prototypes with the synced laser cannon and repulsor lift stabilizers, and we got 2 Onderon oppressors with some different loadouts here. One of them bringing diamond boron missiles, Kraken, and those stabilizers. The other one, Magpulse warhead, DRK-1 probe droids. and stabilizers. Now, a couple of things about this one. Kraken, absolutely amazing piece with these HMPs. So the HMPs on their own have that in the networked aim, where for every friendly target lock out there, they get a reroll when you're attacking a ship that has a friendly target lock on it. Being able to use Kraken to carry calculates from the round before. You can actually carry three friendly calculates for each round. Makes it so that in an engagement you have the potential with you combining the DRK-1 probe droids. You could end up having 4 target locks out in total. So almost, if you're playing against a 4-ship squad, I called it, I think during the stream, kind of like have fire control systems set up on a whole other squad, and then also go into battle with 2 calculates. Gives you a lot of flexibility. Additionally, you got these 2 diamond boron missiles. You got diamond boron missiles, which is absolutely fantastic for splash damage. It's some answers against swarms, being able to trigger the ability to have some other enemy ships roll off for additional damage. Mag Pulse Warhead, I think, is an underutilized card. It is absolutely fantastic. Being able to potentially, if hitting, being able to deal, I believe it is a deplete, a jam, and it's a critical damage if it hits. So all those things, really, really good. And then Kraken combined with the sync laser cannon on the Geonosian prototypes makes it so that there's a good chance that, you with your reroll and using 1 calculate, if you have 1 left, you could end up still using that synced cannon, synced laser cannon ability of being able to have the defender not apply the range bonus. Now, guys, I got to step away for a second, get some water, to talk about this list. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do agree with Dion about the Mag Pulse warheads. Whether if potentially Dan's in the chat or can comment later, the on-run oppressors being I3, I like their ability when we first saw them come out. They were considered to be a little bit on the expensive side for HMPs, but in this list, no bid. But if I'm shooting first against other I3s, and this one has the opportunity and has the lock on probably the highest damage dealing ship on your opponent's list, normally you can identify that pretty well. If that ship hasn't shot yet, because there's a lot of I3s in the meta, you could neuter that shot that's incoming and help the longevity of these HMPs through that Mag Pulse warhead, like we already talked about with Diamond Borons. I've been a fan of them since I have been trying them out on the Bactoid prototype Hyenas in hyperspace. And then, Sync Laser Cannon Geonosians have kind of been, I think, a staple in the 3 HMP or 2 HMP 4-ship lists with other stuff, or all HMP as we see here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next we got up Kaspar's Buldins. Take it, Ryan.
All right, we have a Rebel Alliance list. No new stuff, surprisingly. Probably just sticking with the guns of. I believe did Caspar probably fly this in the past events?
It is the exact same list he flew before. This was I know how to fly this, and I can get some dubs.
Sure. I mean, hey, you got Braylon and 10-dub with Braylon Basic, 10-dub with S-foils. Those are both strong, heavy-hitting ships. Both I4, so if you're going up against some I3s, and then you got Garvin, and then you got Dutch with ion cannon turret and ion torpedoes and thermal detonators, there's a chance you're wiping one of those I3s off the board if they're not in the right spot. I mean, double-modded Braylon, double-modded 10, probably double-modded Garvin, and then an ion torpedo. If Kaspars believes between 10, Braylon, and Garvin, whatever ship that's targeted is dead, Dutch can say, I'm going to choose this other ship, and it's going to get ion, because ion torpedoes are likely to ion almost any ship they shoot at, barring them shooting at a very well-modified defensive ship.
Fantastic. Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. We've talked about lists like that before. And now we're getting to the top two. Top 2 here, Matt Carey. Go ahead and read it, Will.
All right. Matt Carey is bringing some more, you guessed it, Rebel A-Wings. What is that? Hera and Ahsoka? That's a surprise. They are bringing proton rockets on each of them there. Luke Skywalker, another very efficient attack forward platform. And then, what surprised to me, and maybe some others, a blue Squadron escort. That's the Initiative 2, the lowest Initiative T-70 you can get. Forgot they existed because we've been focusing on the red squadrons for so long in hyperspace. I didn't even realize that the blue squadrons were illegal. Giving a call out to Concord Don.
That's what Matt named him. He used his Galaxy's 2020 TTS target locks. He used the Concord Dawn planet, put him purple, and named him Dawn. Concord Dawn. Okay. Concord Dawn is Bay. That's all I'm saying. Continue.
I was very confused watching it on stream of what that meant, but just knew that the blue is just out for our hearts. Just the underdog that you got to root for. But this list, though, I can see these synergies with the blue, being able to get the support from Hera, being able to position into a key block with Ahsoka, say, it boosts and then gets a block, and then Ahsoka barrel rolls it off of him. There could be some pretty interesting things you could do with that ship moving down there. And at I-2 in hyperspace, it is still in a blocking position. We see ones of. Did we read off any Initiative 1 other than Sunny Bounder in this entire top 16?
Nope.
They disappeared.
Yeah.
Well, Cardinal Marauders were taken out of hyperspace, and apparently no one likes droid swarms except me.
Yeah. Oh, the autopilot. Let's not forget autopilot. That's Florent still rocking the I-1s. So I-2, apparently, great blocking initiative in this current meta anyways. So
really quickly here, Matthew Carey is in the chat right now, and he's mentioning that the one change that he would make is if you go back, he would actually swap out the T-65 X-Wing for Wedge in the A-Wing.
That's what I was wondering, because I looked at this list, I'm like, why isn't that just Wedge with Predator? Why isn't that Sabine in the RZ-1? Both of those seem like better pieces for 37 points. And you get a 1-point bid. Hey!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is this...
You don't want no 1-point bid. Throw a hopeful on there.
You don't need no bid.
Like, throw Instinctive Aim back on Ahsoka, right? Or is that 2 points? Is that 1 point or 2 points?
No, and
Instinctive Aim, 1 point. I don't know if that's worth it, though. Only one proton rocket. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I guess also double reposition and shooting 5 dice in range 2. That does make sense to me. So I'm torn in 2 different directions there.
Also, the lower initiative also gives an opportunity to block.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is very reminiscent of what Resistance was doing for a long time when they had the best A-Wings. Haha, you don't anymore.
Well, let's go back to extended.
Well, okay.
And then we can have that conversation.
I don't know, man. Hera and Ahsoka got some words for you.
But those back arcs with advanced optics are something. And ZZ is still ZZ. ZZ don't need no hero. ZZ is his own hero.
Exactly.
But you can't discount the fact that any RZ2 would love to have Hera available, though, right?
Oh, any like I said earlier,
literally any ship would enjoy Hera just flying around.
By the way, I'm forced to mention. I'm pretty sure when we are able to come together, the 4 of us, to do our GSP draft, which might happen sooner rather than later, I'm pretty sure Hera's just off the board. All right, she's too good.
She's too good.
I mean, are we doing a ban list?
Yes.
Well, just wouldn't be in the draft. Then,
She just wouldn't be in the draft. Yeah, you can't draft her. I mean, she is everybody's number one pick.
It's
and
auto-include.
with my first pick, I take Hera Syndulla. Everybody.
With the first pick,
Hey, I mean-
GSP 2021 X-Wing draft, someone picks Harrison Dula.
I mean, yeah, exactly. MVP, baby.
I mean, in Serpentine, that's fair, I think, but we could debate that at a different time, maybe. Anyways, but what I was saying about Resistance is that this is the two A-Wings and Poe, I think it was Poe, Bastion, and two A-Wings. Then it eventually switched to Poe and three A-Wings. And now Luke is certainly not Poe, but shoots as good as him most of the time.
Would you
Very
not
true.
consider Luke better than Poe? I know we have the I-6
I mean-
guy 5, but it's
I
4.
think Luke
You're like-
is better than Poe.
Yeah, you're like
Luke
20
stays
points
alive.
cheaper and have multiple defensive mods. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you don't care about K turns and
Yeah,
Yep.
can actually K-turn. Does more things than just hard to.
So the other thing about this named X and 3 named A's list is that you're not counting on that X with like Poe. Normally Poe and sometimes ZZ is meant to be the end game. In this, Ahsoka can legit be the end game for the Rebel list and still feel comfortable, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for extended. I'll replace that Luke with Janors. I want to make baby Wedge into grown up Wedge. Let A-Wing and Wedge throw 3 or 4 dice.
Well, we'll have to wait and see soon. Patience. And well, Marcel, you get to read off the champions list, because this one we got some things to talk about here. Steve Cotillo or Cotillo, not entirely sure. Steve
Cotillo.
Steve, the man, the champion, the ace of aces. Play the Empire. Take it.
Okay, so we've got Mabid at 193 points Galactic Empire list with Commandant Goran in the TIE Interceptor with Predator. He's one of the new TIE Interceptors. His ability basically reads, paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, but when a ship does not fully execute a maneuver after a friendly ship at range 03 with lower initiative than you partially executes a maneuver, it may perform a red focus action, which in of itself is an amazing card. So it basically allows you to have a token even if you're bumping. But in this particular case, he has that ship with Black Squadron, Scout, TIE Strikers, with discipline and thermal detonators for them. Coming in at 193 points. And basically, it is a maneuver. Their adaptive ailerons are a maneuver, so bump into the back of one of your own ships, trigger the Goran ability to get but to take a red focus, and then you hop over the ship you just bumped, and then you can take your regular action, which will more than likely be a focus. So you will always have a focus, evade, and this is a when, not an if, when you lose a ship, you will also get a free target lock for all of these strikers, which is great because they don't have a target lock action native to them. So now you have the rest of your ships with a focus, evade, target lock, and oh, by the way, after they've finished their run with their forward-facing guns, now you are getting bombarded in the back. So it's not easy to get either in front of them or behind them. I mean, they're going to hurt you no matter where you are. So very cool list. I saw him. Is he on? Is he on here?
I don't know. I don't know if Steve is there, but I got to talk to him a little bit about his list afterwards, and let's just talk about some of the shenanigans that he was able to do. It all didn't happen, but the tools he had available, and I would imagine did happen throughout the tournament. Let's do note he went 10-0. He went 10-0, completely undefeated throughout the tournament. We talked about that focus, that target lock action on the strikers. They don't normally have target locks available to them, so they're very valuable. But there was a couple of times where Matt in the final, if he had either killed or shot at a certain TIE striker and killed it, he would have been able to barrel roll the strikers into shots, which I am almost sure that happened in other games where you're like, oh, I'm out of these guys' arc. I'm going to go ahead and blow up this one. And then these two other, Matt Carey says, it was always on my mind. And that's the thing. With the number of ships and these actions available, it forced Matt, at least from our perspective, and Matt, let us know if I was wrong, in the commentary booth, but it forced you into this weird position of like, I don't want to kill this ship, right? It's that almost kind of Dengar-esque situation where you're like, I don't want to shoot you. Like, offense feels bad because bad things can happen to me. And he says, I'm totally right. Yeah, it was rock in a hard place for that.
So I may have either missed it when it was mentioned or when you talked to Steve afterwards. He obviously has a lot of points left over, which still the bid, I'm pretty sure it may not need to be that high of a bid, but against other I3s, those strikers have supernatural boost basically, but better because you can not complete it but still go somewhere, right? But should one of those strikers, did he talk about whether or not he should have had Nash as one of those strikers instead to make sure they don't get initiative killed?
That is a great question. He didn't talk about that directly, but we do know is that the list was relatively new to him. His plan was to actually fly a alpha interceptor swarm was the plan going into it. And then yeah. Exactly, yeah. Hyperspace rules. Exactly. They were gone. Absolutely gone. The idea was developed between him and one of his squad mates, Liam Lee. Oh, by the way, these guys are out of Colorado. And they came up with this. Now, Ryan, we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show that Steve's list, I think, is good. I think it's definitely good. But we might see people start to evolve this. And I think putting Nash Winrider in it is definitely something that I think is worth experimenting with, right? So Nash Winrider, if you're not familiar with it, I mean, Marcel, you played it a little bit. What does Nash do?
Nash basically allows a ship, whether it is a unique ship or there you go. During the engagement phase, after a friendly small ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, if the ship is not engaged this phase, you may spend a charge. If you do, that ship engages at the current initiative. So basically it allows, even in those turns where everybody is getting their token, everybody's getting their token, but the ship that got destroyed is not getting their extra token, but will get to shoot. So it even gives you more incentive to, some of those situations where you've got that focus token, you're like, I don't know if I want to spend it or not spend it. It just says, well, go ahead and spend it. And Nash also having an EPT at Initiative 2 allows him to take discipline, so he can also take advantage of that. Take advantage of that free target lock or barrel, whatever works out. So I like it. And I also like, one curious question I had is why Predator instead of Discipline? Because a lot of the time it was probably the one of the strikers that was getting killed. So I'm pretty sure that the Commandant wouldn't mind a free token or a free barrel roll here and there.
No, I think it was more that, like, because of how the interceptor moves with auto thrusters, it's stressed. So with Predator, that's your re-roll. When you have Disciplined, your Discipline's not likely to trigger if you've had to use auto thrusters. You don't always have to use auto thrusters, but it's there. But hey, do you know who can still use Discipline even if they've auto thrustered? Her name is Sienna Ree.
Hey! No, she's terrible. Dead on arrival. No, she's the worst.
Discipline, even if she what?
So
it turns
if a
out
friendly
she has
ship
a positive
dies,
ability.
she dumps her stress, right?
Oh,
Then you can use Discipline. Now she's already shot likely, so free target lock for next turn, yes, please.
Yeah, there's some possibilities there for sure.
I have actually tried a variant of this list that instead of Goron, it's Sienna Ree, and I have Nash instead of one of the strikers. It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I highly recommend if you're one of our Twitch subs, you can go ahead and watch it right now. The games will be up on our YouTube channel in probably about looking at the schedule, probably about a week and a half to 2 weeks is where we're at. We just dropped, I think, the championship event of vets today. But yeah, I mean, it was really cool to see this this bump fest, and there was some great, absolutely amazing games that happened this weekend. I highly recommend you watch them. Especially, I want to say day 2 had everything you want in X-Wing. There was a final salvo that happened on mutual destruction. Okay. That happened in one of the games.
It was mutual 4 damage needed to get through destruction. It was 4 damage.
Yay.
4 damage. So 2 4 health ships killed each other last turn.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, that was our top 16 of the Aces Flight Club Championship. Now, what I want to end our discussion here is, we've gotten just a taste, the tip of the iceberg on what hyperspace has to bring with the new packs that we got. Let's talk about some of the things that we didn't see that are hyperspace legal. Is there something just off the top of your mind? Let's go maybe one for each that you were maybe surprised that didn't make it into the top 16 or do very well. Anybody who wants to go first?
I got one, and it's Hawks, Scum Hawks.
Will, you're not. You're muted. Just heads up.
I can hear him.
Oh.
I can hear him too.
Uh-oh. Did I break something?
No, I've been having troubles.
What happened to my Will Haygood? 1 second. Please hold while Dion finds his friend Will.
Man, now I gotta think of something new. Will stole my idea.
Well, the internet doesn't know. If he just starts, literally, they can't hear him right now.
Oh, I can just steal his idea because they can't hear him.
Oh, no, Tommy can hear me. Tommy can hear me. I'm claiming Hawks right
hear
out.
Will.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear him. All right, go ahead. I want to make sure I can hear you. Go ahead, Will.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I accidentally clicked the button.
It's probably important for everything. Anyways, Scum Hawks. We're talking, and I'm talking in mass. We saw Kanan in the top 16. I don't think we saw any other ones, did we?
None more in the top 16. So I looked this up, and you can finish this off, but there was no Palobs. There was no Tapusks. There was only one Kanan and one Torkel in the entire event.
Yeah. Joshua Richardson bringing Torkel, but did not have a noteworthy performance with it, unfortunately. And that just blows my mind because Scum Hawks, especially with the options of cutthroat, thermals, and or false transponder codes, is just, I wouldn't say degenerate, but it is an overwhelming amount of jam tokens you can put onto an enemy list and just be like, well, you can't take any actions. Say, if you take any actions, I'm going to take them. And if you get anywhere in my arc, you're not going to be able to shoot until initiative 0. Like, Like, oh, you had force, it's not coming back next round. Like, but like, oh, you didn't want to clear those jams or whatever because you just wanted to boost. You're gonna get stuck with them for the next round too, and we're gonna take more target locks to put more jams on you. It's just someone had asked me. Oh, now I forget about their Gorsaw. Gorsaw asked me, what would Hawks be like in hyperspace? And I replied with this degeneracy, which is just cutthroats and thermals and all the main things. And Captain C4. I guess that would be my next question. Where's Captain C4? Did everyone forget that he came back into hyperspace?
He got left back at Space Jam.
Joshua Richardson, also only brain. Joshua, you're the man. But
had like a good result, but his list going into this, we played it a couple times. I think it's still a viable list. Like, I've seen it played. It has good tools. He just probably not his day.
I mean, that happens. Some of the best players in X-Wing, they just play in multiple events. So it's the shotgun theory that eventually you'll roll right on the right rolls. But and like I said, in hyperspace, these abilities are very, very powerful. The access to long-range jam and consistent jam over multiple rounds is so powerful. Their time on target, amazing. Area denial. We always saw with the 4 sets of thermals what that can do on a platform like the Striker. So I would have thought it would have transferred over. But on the flip side, Hawks do only have 2 attack dice. They never can get a 4th dice. They have okay initiative at best. So I can see that they could have their flaws, but very, very surprised we did not see even attempts at trying out Seevor or any Hawks in hyperspace. Very surprised.
Marcel?
I'm surprised we didn't see a hopeful swarm. That would have been interesting, right? No, I think we got everything that we thought we would get. I don't know, Ryan might have some, but he said he's got to dig for another one, so maybe not so much. Maybe, if anything, I probably might have expected 1 or 2 people to bring some of the other named TIE interceptors, like Sienna.
There was one Sienna.
Gideon.
There was one
Sienna, and then Gideon or Volker or Voldemort. I can't think of that guy's name.
Volk Scaris.
Yeah, Initiative 5 interceptors are good, even if it's like an empty ability. That or the Y-Wings. I don't think there was any of the new Y-Wings either for the Scum. But there might have been.
Well, they had the Scum Y-Wings only have the generics, right? So it's the Maxine Warriors and the Hintaro. So there was...
Yeah, it would have been just like the initiative, the lower initiative generics with the tech slot.
There was one... Well, we actually did have him on stream. There was one. Samuel Dameron brought 5 Janata... Sorry, I had the Hintaro. I don't know where that came from. 5 Janata security officer Y-Wings with automated target priority, ion cannon turrets on 3 of them with thermal deaths, and the other 2 ion torpedoes and R3 astromechs. Lots of chunk.
All right, good stuff. But yeah, it was so that's probably I'll take that one back. So let's just stay with the interceptors then.
Ryan?
So I'm gonna get probably the sad one out of the way first, and then get to probably my real answer. I can't say I fault people for doing this, because this was the Ace Championship. They came here to take home as much glory as possible. You know what that means? Nobody brought resistance. Absolutely nobody.
Not even
a single
one
person invested in resistance. Not one. At least according to all the lists I'm looking at here.
It is the truth. Not even one.
I can't fault them, though. Like, there are some tools. There were some new shiny things, though, too. hard to stay away from new and shiny, but also they weren't proving themselves great. There were only a couple things here and there. Even Nabi flaked out on him and went for RZ1.
Call them out. Call them out.
That's okay. It's still A-Wings, I guess.
Oh, yeah, true.
But I will say, so the other kind of quiet one that we saw emerge earlier on was the Republic 4 ship Salad. And one of the constant pieces we saw in it was N1 Anakin utilizing passive sensors and a torpedo of some type, whether it was proton or just threatening a little bit with the ion torp, or even going for that dangerous range 1 advanced proton torp. He was nowhere at all. Even at I4 against a lot of I3s with his supernatural style barrel roll, right? He had a lot of potential chances to range control, punch in some damage or some control with the ion torp, and then let something else in the list, whether it be an A to Obi-Wan, which is probably a good partner with him just because he can use his ability with it. We only had Kenneth Leone with Obi-Wan that we talked about earlier, and at 31, Michael Petrella utilizing Obi-Wan as well in the Ada. Those were the only 2 Obi-Wans in the entire event as well, which to me is also surprising. I feel like the 4-ship Republic had tools outside of just a lot of 7B Knights to deal with the I3s while still threatening some of the other aces out there too. And I don't think we saw that.
All right. Well, like this was absolutely awesome seeing the Ace Championships, like we talked about before on stream. If you were watching over the weekend, this is something that we're going to bring back. It's going to look a little bit different in the future. Right now, we're actually setting up some of the mechanisms to make it a little bit easier, but it was amazing putting on the Flight Club Championship. Hopefully, whether you participated in Recruit, Vet, Ace, and or you were just a viewer, hopefully you enjoyed seeing that journey for people, because it was really amazing to see people grow. Now, I want to go ahead, guys, and let's go ahead and take two. I know we pulled a couple of questions, but I got a cold or something going on this last day or two, and I'm starting to fade. So I want to make sure to get some high quality content to end here before I fade away into obscurity. What's go ahead, Will, scoop one of those questions out.
This actually came in today, hot off the press. Someone had asked, by the way, where could they submit lists and questions? Well, that would be through our Discord, exclamation point Discord. Give you a link, and then our submissions only channel. And drop us some questions and lists. We haven't done lists in a while, but we do love doing them. Anyways, this is actually a really important one in these times. Basically, that they had, this is from I Chung Fu Panda. They were trying to get games in, had only able to get games in with a particular small group of friends. No surprise there. But their local friendly local game store it was recently opening up, and they are trying to get others into the game store, of course, taking all this with the caveat of when you're safe and ready, but it sounds like their game store was ready, and this person is looking for advice on how to draw more people into the local community. They say they bring mats and other pre-built lists and things, but often they're not able to get the attention they're looking for. So I'm really going to bounce this one to you guys, because it struck me as deer in headlights, because I think we're a little bit rusty on this. Yeah. Been leaning too much into online, but how do you, obviously, with the caveat of when you're safe and ready, to go back to the game store and get your local community back playing?
So I have a couple suggestions. First, this is first and foremost a marketing problem. I'm gonna kind of put it in that scope. If I was Chung Fu Panda, I would make sure that my local X-Wing has a Facebook group, because I would say your most common person in their like mid 30s is your most common like person who plays this game. A lot of them have Facebook, but you can't name it like Superstar Squadron Alpha, the X-Wing group. Nobody's gonna find it. Especially if you're a small community, you need to be called the name of your city, X-Wing, whatever it might be. All right, so Chillicothe, Ohio, X-Wing. Like your local group name needs to be in that title. Make it super simple. If you want to add something additional on there, that's fine. But even our group, like there was we have ours is Gold Squadron and Chicago X-Wing. Like that, I put that very purposely in there. So when people type in Facebook Chicago X-Wing, ours is the first group that comes up. Right? That is Dion stole my squad name. I know you like that one. That one's for free. Anybody can take that one. I think that's the first thing you need to do. Second, let's be real. Right now, pandemic opening up time, it's going to be really hard. And I think it's going to take time to normalize, because not everybody is comfortable going out right now. Not everybody can. And every store is different. Okay? Really quickly here, NFL insider Leroy asks, how in the world did you know how to pronounce Chillicothe? My wife is from Chillicothe, Ohio. That's the only way I knew. But yeah, right now there's a lot of people who are just not comfortable doing it. So I would say don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged that you don't see a lot of people. Now, once things do open up, the number one thing that makes people who are in a game store go like, what is that? Is epic play. Be like seeing a Raider on the table and those epic ships, those large base ships, huge base ships, right? Those draw a lot of eyes. So I know that might not be everybody's cup of tea, but having days where you're kind of purposely playing in a way or with ships that people walk by and go, hey, that's Star Wars. I like that. Those are my three suggestions that I would go with. You guys have anything else?
I think, yeah, you're right about making sure the marketing portion of it is get a Facebook group together. Look at Discord too. Discord is becoming much more common amongst people utilizing for chat and discussion for all gaming groups. You can build actual, not just X-Wing, but get similar interests together and help pull more people in that aspect, and then introduce people to X-Wing at the same time. But always, too, if you're trying to set things up, be in constant discussion with whoever's representing that store for you. Have a good relationship with them so that you can help determine what the best days out of the week could be for traffic on that, what the best times are. They're going to know the traffic trends and the times to get more eyes on the game. And also when prize kits come back, when it's all safe and ready to go, make sure that you don't feel like you have to stay completely strict to how the prizes are structured when given out by AMG eventually, or used to be FFG. I know when I helped my local store, I tried to disperse the prizes as best as possible so everyone left with something. Mm-hmm. And commonly we'd even promote good sportsmanship by having a vote each night to say who did everyone feel like was the best sportsman of the night, and just that person got an extra card of their choice or a couple cards or tokens or whatever, right? I know Marcel has talked about in the past of supporting the people who come out, may not win a single game, but they look like they enjoyed their whole night, and you want to give them a reason to come back. So making sure you support people across the entire night, not just the people who are doing well if it's a structured style event.
Bring food when it is able.
This is true.
Food.
Yes.
When you're able to bring food, and people are drawn to a good hot dog.
Something else I wanted really quickly. Something else that somebody else mentioned in the chat is if you are currently like pandemic times, if right now if your area is opening up and you're trying to get maybe somebody who wants to be comfortable. Now, I don't want to have anybody feel called out, but posting pictures and showing that you're playing in a safe manner. Something as simple as making sure that you're wearing a mask correctly in the picture that you're publicly posting, right? Like if you're this person and saying, hey, we're having a great time playing X-Wing at the local store, saying super safe. If you're this guy, nobody believes you. You lose credibility, okay? So, by the way, for our audio listeners, I used my mask as a mustache instead of covering my nose and my mouth. It's simple stuff like that if you're trying to make people feel comfortable to come out now, okay, show that you are being safe if that is the crowd that you're targeting, to try to get people more comfortable to come in person right now, today. Will, what were you going to say?
I want to echo what first-time caller had mentioned, or echo off of what Ryan was saying about talking to the person who runs the store, runs the counter of the store. Try to get some flyers, whether to hang up or to see if the store could include them with an X-Wing purchase, like a little card, a reminder of maybe the open game nights, or maybe your upcoming event that you're trying to hold to get players in. Marketing it directly to the people buying from the game store is going to be your target audience for that.
Fantastic. I think we gave a lot of strategies there. I think we'll end with this. If you want people to keep on coming, I think one common thing we talked about here is we got to make sure that they leave knowing that they had a good time, right? Don't play. If you got somebody brand new, this might seem obvious, but some people it's like, oh my gosh, you're right. If your focus is to bring somebody back in, you should not be playing the latest meta super duper squad against them and crushing them. All right. The idea of let the rookie win for some people is very true. Now you're going to have to gauge that person. Like I know there are definitely people who learn better, who say, don't pander to me. And those people will usually tell you like, I don't want you to take it easy on me. Let's play it. That you could play a little bit harder. But even then I wouldn't play at 100%. I wouldn't go all out. Okay.
It's not only meta. I would add, not only don't bring stuff that'll completely annihilate them and make them feel bad and like, oh, this game sucks.
Yeah.
But also don't be, even if it's something quirky and you think it's fun, you got to remember, for people that have been playing a long time, like this weird combo to get, like 6 dice out of a 2-die A-wing or something like that. Like, hey, look, I got my 2-die gun to shoot 6 dice by, throwing something off the rim and then bouncing it over there. You don't want to lose a new player. So just, it's called, it's KISS, but it's a marketing term. They say keep it simple, stupid. Is, just keep it simple and dumb it down. And use as few upgrades as possible. And if you are using an upgrade, use upgrades that don't have a wall of text. Again, just you're trying to not only not discourage them by beating them, but also not discourage them by thinking that they're going to have to read an encyclopedia in order to understand the game. So just bring them in with iconic ships and basic upgrades, if any upgrades at all.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Keep it simple for them, and you got to get a gauge of the person, because somebody in the chat was like, I lost 10 times the first 10 times I played, and I'm a better player now. You're right. That I mean, I lost something like 67 games before I won one. Okay, 67. Okay, but I learned that way. Like I was okay with that. There are some people who just can't handle it, and it's not that they're any less than anybody else, but some people can't handle that much failure and continue to have fun. It's that balance. I would rather go easier at first and kind of gauge where they are, and then kind of go from there and try to build up their experience. That was a great question to end with today. That was absolutely fantastic. Well, I hope that everybody out there listening, watching, feeling, all right, whatever that is, tasting the Gold Squadron podcast. Well, you know what? Here, last question. If the Gold Squadron podcast was a food flavor, what would it be? Okay? Food flavor. Chat, I need it now. Let's go. Putting everybody on the spot. Ryan contemplating. Marcel going like, what
You're
in
gonna
the
hate
world?
I got a weird one, but okay.
Okay. Marcel, get yours out of the way. I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Well, what am I gonna say?
No. Go ahead.
You're pretty sure. You're pretty sure, huh? So I'm trying to think. It's not a chocolate mousse.
Okay.
It's a vanilla goose.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. Will?
I wanted to go with some like hot pepper jelly. I'm talking like jalapeno and raspberry jelly. Oh man, because it's spicy but sweet, comforting, and just makes the whole thing work.
Ryan?
I'm going to go with like a Supreme style pizza. You got all different flavors on there, all giving you different feelings with each different bite. You maybe choose a bite here to get this little section because it's got more pepperoni or green peppers or onion, whatever you put on that pizza, because you got all of us putting that flavor together of GSP and everyone in the community at the same time. It's one giant flavor experience of pizza. So whatever pizza Supreme you want to put together, that's what you got.
I think we are a peanut butter milkshake. We are a peanut butter milkshake. And that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time today. I know I did. And stay smart, stay safe. Oh, by the way, Wednesday, taking Wednesday off. No stream this Wednesday. I need a recovery day. Not feeling great. And April is a month where I'm going to be taking a couple of days off here and there, family, birthdays, and stuff like that. So you can have. I will post some homework for you guys on Wednesday, some remote learning for you on Wednesday. Okay, some asynchronous work. But yeah, we'll talk more later. We got plenty more X-Wing coming your way. We'll talk to you guys later. Gold Squadron out.